what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. I'm your host, the Fellow KGB. You can follow me on Twitter at the Fellow KGB. And we have some news that just broke yesterday. The Washington football team has released running back Darius Geiss. He had to turn himself in after a few warrants were out for his arrest, domestic violence and some other abuse and some things like that. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. It's unfortunate that it happened, but he's been let go. So that's going to open up quite a bit of opportunity for the other running backs there. Adrian Peterson, rookie Antonio Gibson, Peyton Barber is probably going to make the team for sure. And then you got Bryce Love, who played at Stanford not too long ago. So in this video, we're going to kind of touch base on what the Washington backfield is going to be looking like. We'll update my rankings and my projections live here. So that's what this video is all about. Again, Darius Geiss has been released. We're not really sure if we're ever going to see him play in the NFL again. Probably not. If you look at the Ray Rice situation that happened, a few years ago. So it looks like Adrian Peterson's going to be the lead main back here. So I have my projection document open. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to basically kind of move these names up. So I'm going to put Adrian Peterson's name in here as the RB1. We will go ahead here and let's just go ahead and put we'll put Antonio Gibson here as the RB2. And then I do have Peyton Barber and Bryce Love already down here. So I'm going to move Barber up. And then I think if we look at the depth chart real quick, this is using ourlads.com. They have a really good depth chart site and they stay pretty updated. So I like to use that as a reference, but it's showing us here they have 5 running backs on the roster, the 5th one being J.D. McKissick, who was formerly with the Detroit Lions. So I'm just going to move, put J.D. McKissick here. I'm really not sure what's up with Bryce Love. He's been kind of battling an injury, but it sounds like he's been cleared to go. So we'll see if he can get some carries. So I'm, not too worried about these guys for fantasy football this year, but it's going to be about Adrian Peterson. If we look at what AP did last year, he had 211 carries, 898 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns, and then he did get some receiving work. So I think that's the first thing that I need to look at is overall last year, the Washington football team, which is it's weird to say, but I'm getting it down. 356 rushing attempts last year. I have them projected for more rushing attempts this year and more plays in general. I think they're going to be a more fast-paced offense. If you think about the Carolina Panthers with Ron Rivera and Norv Turner the last few years, they have Scott Turner this year, which is Norv's son. He's going to be calling the plays. So I'm expecting a little increase in just in speed of play calls and more plays being ran. So I think they're going to be running the ball a little bit more this year. So I'll stick around the 405 total carries. But from there, that's what I'm going to use to break down my numbers. So Adrian Peterson last year with 211 carries. Let's just go ahead and let's just bump that up to we'll call it $185. So we'll add 20 there. I'm going to give Antonio Gibson about 90 carries. So that still keeps us at the 95. Peyton Barber still going to get some work. But it's basically going to be Adrian Peterson's getting probably 60% of these touches. And we'll see if Antonio Gibson can start to carve away a bigger role. But I think he's going to be used. Gibson's pretty much walking into the Chris Thompson role from last year. So if you look at what Thompson did last year, he didn't run the ball a lot. Gibson's probably a better runner than Thompson. But it's these catching numbers that were pretty eye-popping. So I think Gibson's going to be walking into a pretty big pass-catching role here. Peyton Barber's not going to be catching passes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just flip these numbers real quick. So we'll put a 30 there, 9 there, a 16 there, and a 46 there. So that all checks out. So these are just my baseline numbers right now. And I'm just kind of moving them to get everything lined up. And from here, this is when we can start to adjust and make sure everything's looking good. So I really don't think Peyton Barber is going to be doing much. Even J.D. McKissick getting 25 carries here, that doesn't make sense to me. So what we're going to do here is maybe Bryce Love gets some carries, but we're going to lower him down to about 10. And we'll throw those 4 carries. Oops, 1, 0. We'll throw those carries Adrian Peterson's way. And then I'm going to go ahead and lower J.D. McKissick's to McKissick's going to be more of the backup to Antonio Gibson. So again, he's not going to get much work at all. So I'm going to drop that down to 10 as well. And we'll give those numbers to Antonio Gibson. And then Peyton Barber. Barber's only going to get work to keep Adrian Peterson healthy. He's an injury replacement. I don't think they're going to just give Antonio Gibson that full workload. But I guess before we start getting into the hardcore numbers, let's take a look at what Antonio Gibson did as a running back receiver at Memphis. The interesting note for Antonio Gibson was think about the Memphis running backs that have come out of college lately. You're thinking about Tony Pollard and you're thinking about Darrell Henderson. Both those guys were drafted, second, third round picks. So when he got to Memphis, he wanted to be a running back, but they switched him to wide receiver just because he was, lower on the depth chart. So we see his rookie year here, or his freshman season. Actually, it's his junior season with Memphis when he transferred here. But he only played sparingly, 6 receptions, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But he showed some big playmaking ability. And his senior year, they kind of left him as a receiver/running back. And they ended up getting him some really big plays here. You see 38 receptions, 735 yards, 19.3 yards per catch, 8 touchdowns. And then he did run the ball pretty effectively too, with 33 carries for 369 yards, 11.2 average, and 4 touchdowns. So the guy's, he's an electric playmaker. Anything can happen when he touches the ball. So I don't really know if he's going to be a guy that's going to get, I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that gets 200 carries in a season or anything like that. If maybe best case scenario, he's like an Alvin Kamara type player that's going to be in the high 180s or something, and then he'll start maybe getting 60, 70 catch receiving seasons. But we'll see about that. So for now, I think I'm going to leave Peyton Barber's number here at about 30 carries, and then I kind of gotta just start adjusting some of these averages. So we'll give Washington's offensive line's not going to be great. They did lose Trent Williams, so I'm just going to start lowering some of these numbers here. So Bryce Love, we'll give him 3.5 yards per carry. I don't have to be correct about guys like McKissick and Bryce Love. I just have to be kind of close. So I'm not really trying to be perfect here. So we'll give McKissick 4 yards per carry, whatever. Peyton Barber, if we look at what Peyton Barber did last year, it's kind of like a similar thing. I don't think he's going to be anything amazing. You see last year only 3.1 yards per carry. Year before that, 3.7 yards per carry. Year before that, 3.9. So there's no way he's going to be running for 4 yards per carry. So on 30 carries, what's 95 yards going to do? 3.2. We'll just be nice. We'll give him 100. We'll give him a 3.3. We'll give him a touchdown, whatever. And then he's not going to be used in the passing game. If we quick look at what he did in Tampa Bay last season, he caught 16 balls. Year before that, he caught 20. And the year before that, he caught 16. But that was when he was, getting more work in the running game. So I really don't think he's going to be much of a factor at all. So I'll even be fine. And we'll bump this down to just 5 catches on 8 targets, whatever. And then we'll lower this down to like 35 or something. So that's looking better there. And now I got to kind of catch up on my receiving here. So we'll start with Antonio Gibson. I have to get to 335 completions here, so I'm just going to update that to, 34 catches. I don't see Adrian Peterson catching 25 balls last year. Again, he had a major workload, and he only caught 17, 23 targets. So we'll kind of keep him in that same spot. We'll give him, let's give him 20 targets. And so that means we took 11 away. So I'm just going to add a few here for Antonio Gibson. We'll give him 52. And then J.D. McKissick, like I said, he's going to be the other guy that's going to be catching balls. So we'll give him a little bit here. We'll give him 10. And then I'm still trying to catch up here. So Antonio Gibson's got more upside here as a receiving back. And we'll just keep adding there. So I'm trying to make sure my numbers align, my receptions and targets. I'm trying to make sure that those align in the column here for the quarterback stats. So I got the receptions and the targets there. Now I just need to flip some of these numbers. So maybe Adrian Peterson catches 14 of those, and then we can start to update Antonio Gibson. So usually running back passes are more, those are way more efficient. It's a quicker throw. They're usually not split out wide or anything. So we'll see what Gibson can do here. He's going to be a good number for him. We'll give him, what's 44 do? 44 out of 58. That seems kind of fair. But we do have to give some here. We'll just knock that down to 43. We do got to give some to good old J.D. McKissick here. But he probably needs a little bit more than that. So maybe 42, 5, and I'm just going to shave off a couple here from other people. So 6 of 12 from McKissick, that doesn't even seem right. Whatever, we'll just knock that down to 6 to 11 and add that there. So I'm really just kind of moving numbers around, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit with these numbers for a little bit before I make any adjustments, just because I need to look at something for a little while. Certain things make sense. I don't think Adrian Peterson's catching a touchdown, so we'll move that. We'll put that to Gibson's way. So at the moment right now, I got Gibson going for 100 rushing attempts, 455 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, getting 42 receptions. We got to change this receiving yards here. So Adrian Peterson's hogging up way too many yards. So let's go ahead and just knock that down 100. We'll put 100 towards Antonio Gibson. And again, remember in college, this guy, he put up monster numbers for averages in, yards per catch and yards per carry. He's not going to be that great, outstandingly, over 10 yards a carry at all. That's not going to happen. But he could get, I have him at 4.6. That seems fine. But his yards per catch, I think, has got to be higher than 7.3. I mean, Adrian Peterson caught 8.4 last year. So I might have to hire that a little bit. We'll give Adrian Peterson 95. So 6.8, whatever. We'll give him 100. So Peterson gets his 7. And then, let's see here. I have a few more yards to go with these receiving yards here. I got 3,790 for the quarterback. But I'm still not liking this average of 7.6. I think I got a lower Peyton Barber. We'll just dump Barber by 5 yards. So I'm kind of just being ticky-tacky here, just making sure my numbers all look correct. I gotta give J.D. McKissick some more receiving numbers. Richard Rodgers down here at 16 yards per catch. That doesn't seem right. So we'll steal 20 from there, and then we'll steal 30. So I'm just gonna. Well, let's give those to J.D. McKissick first because he needs to get, a decent average of 7.5 there. So as of right now, I don't really know what to do. Who do I take numbers from? Terry McLaurin? Do I just update Dwayne Haskins' passing yards? Maybe that's what I do. So let's see what 375 here. That gives him an 8.9 yards per catch. That's only 50 more yards for Haskins. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So he's going to finish, just a couple extra fantasy points, nothing too major there. What's the math there? Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're looking a little bit better here. Adrian Peterson last year, he still ran for 4.3 yards per carry. The year before that, 4.2. I got him at 4.0. Maybe, I could add some more numbers to that, but I really don't know if I need to. I got him at 5 rushing touchdowns. Maybe that doesn't make sense. They only ran for 9 all of last season. So maybe I just shave that down to 5, give him 5 touchdowns again. Antonio Gibson, though, he's looking like 6 touchdowns. Outside of Terry McLaurin, Gibson might be the best player on the field for Washington. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens. And he's going to finish with a 10.83 target share. That's basically 3rd, 4th best. He's going to be the 3rd, 4th target on the team. He's got a fair opportunity share. He's got a good amount of yard share. So I've got him, because of the PPR floor, he's going to be a better pick than Adrian Peterson. Really, Adrian Peterson's only useful in standard leagues, maybe in half PPR leagues. But if you look right here, I got Gibson beating him out in both of those categories. And even in standard, just because of the touchdowns, I think they're going to try to find ways to get Antonio Gibson the ball. And what's cool about Gibson is a lot of people don't realize how much of a draft capital investment he was. He was a 3rd round pick, 66th overall. So that's what, the second or third pick of the 3rd round. That's a very high pick for a running back. And if you quick look at some of the players that he was probably drafted around. So let's do 2020 NFL draft results. We'll try ESPN here. So round 3, you're going to see. So Gibson was the 2nd overall pick in the 3rd round, which is pretty impressive. So some running backs that came off the board after him, you're talking Keyshawn Vaughn, you're talking Zach Moss, Darrington Evans. And then let's just quick take a look and see who is selected just ahead of him. A.J. Dillon, J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers. Again, he's maybe 10 picks behind, Akers and J.K. Dobbins. So I think people need to start taking Antonio Gibson seriously. As you see here, he's already 2nd on the depth chart ahead of all these guys. And the thing that's really going to propel him, I don't know where he's going to be going in drafts. I think I might have to do a mock draft, and I'll try to make sure I get Antonio Gibson on my target plans for us to see where we can start getting him. But as far as PPR leagues, he's going to be one of those guys that you could probably put on your bench, and he's going to have, kind of a Chris Thompson vibe, but with more rushing attempts. I think they're going to be really excited to try to get this guy the ball. If you think about Ron Rivera and Norv Turner, they had Christian McCaffrey, probably the best pass-catching back we've seen in a very long time, and they're going to find a lot of ways to try to get this guy the ball with the open space. So I'm super excited about Antonio Gibson. Let's go ahead here and we'll filter my running back rankings here. We'll see where he slides in. He's coming in at RB 34. So I got him basically in the same area as Tevin Coleman, James White, even Zach Moss too. So that pretty much means he's going to be an RB3 for us this year, and he's probably going to have some RB2 value most weeks. So I highly recommend thinking about Antonio Gibson. And again, I'm going to stick with these projections right now. These are just off the cuff, quick and dirty numbers where I can tweak them around later. But I'm super excited about this player. If you're on YouTube watching this, just after this video, search Antonio Gibson highlights, get familiar with his game. He's super electric, a lot of fun to watch. And Washington's got nothing to lose. So they're going to try to figure out what this young playmaker can do. Again, 3rd round pick, 2nd overall in that round. I love him. So that's going to be it for this video. If you stuck around to the end, don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And thank you for your time. We'll see you in another video. Peace.